Hey guys, welcome to another episode on King's Eyes channel. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like or dislike button, whichever so you choose. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button. Of course, that helps me out, and I appreciate it. Whether you agree or disagree with the stuff I talk about. But before I came out here and did some reading, sitting in the sun and everything, I watched one of my favorite movies, right? Green Book. And if you've seen the Green Book, it took place with Dr. Shirley and Mr. Villalanka, I think his name was. I don't remember exactly how to say it, but I was watching that movie, and of course they had a lot of racial things go on in that movie, right? Negative racial things. And one of them I want to pay particular attention to is the use of the word boy. In that movie, you hear the white man call BMs boy. And that was interesting to me. For whatever reason, it got me thinking. It kind of got me thinking, because back then, if you were black, it don't matter if you were 60 years old. If you were black, you were a boy. You weren't allowed to be a man. And my thought on it is kind of backwards, or not backwards, but different, right? The thought that I had when watching it. And that thought was, in a way, they kind of spoke it into existence, if you think about it. Right? In my last video, I gave a little advice on being a man, And when you think about that advice, right, a man has to stand for something. Stand on something, right? You can't really be a man without doing those things. Because standing for something guides your choices, your decisions, your thinking. But in the movie, right, and back then in that time, BMs were called boy, no matter how old they were, as I said. And now fast forward, fast forward 50, 60 years, and they may not call us boy as they did then. Blatantly to our face, out in the open, overt racism. But the damage has been done. It's been spoken into existence. Because in my humble opinion, the majority of us are boys. Now, that's not to say that a lot of BMs, and I'm saying that, as to not get into it with YouTube or whatever, but a lot of BMs are waking up. We are making moves. We are trying to build to the best of our ability. But the overwhelming majority of us are boys. I mean, think about it. A boy isn't born with principles. He learns them. They're passed down to him, most of the time by his father. Because mother is not going to have principles. And I'm not saying women can't have principles, but their principles are going to be, meaning no insult by this, their principles are going to be kind of simple. And easily swayed. And because the majority of us are born and raised into single parent homes, in particular with the mother, we never receive those principles, right? Yeah, we grow old, we grow stronger, we grow big, but we're not taught the things we should be taught. I mean, if you look out here and look at the things we find pleasure in having or we think are important, the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, the approval of women, those are the things we find important. And it's just in your face, you know. So back then they were calling us boys, but in that time we carried ourselves a lot more like men. And now fast forward, as I said, 50, 60 years, it's flipped. They don't call us boy to our face like they used to, for the most part, but we don't carry ourselves like that. And the way they did that was by replacing the father figure, the head of household, with government. Because households in the black community don't have heads, leaders, the boys never become men. Or it just takes them longer, right, to find principles, to learn that they have to build, to learn that chasing a woman should not be something that you're doing or that you should do. You know, as a man, your purpose here is to build. And it don't matter what form that takes. Right? You can build your money, build your bank account. You can build yourself. You can do what a lot of men do, build a family, right? A core unit you add on to your family unit. It's just, that was interesting to me. You know, back then they called us boys, but we acted and carried ourselves like men. Whereas now, you don't get that boy word as much, as overtly as you used to, but it would fit. So just a light video, man. Sorry if it was all over the place. Just a stream of consciousness, as I guess BGS would say. And, you know, leave a like if you liked it. If you made it to the end, feel free to leave a comment. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my content and you wouldn't mind, you know, listening to me every now and then. Talk to you later.